people are like, why are you telling people it's okay to work for those people? It's like everyone has their own perspective of how they see it, but and I don't think any one person is right because every person has their own, you got to pay your own bills. But I think for me as someone who's trying to educate to down on companies that are giving you work and letting somebody new come into the business is not helping anybody if I did that. I don't know. So I think when you first start out, I actually opinion that I start out it's essential to work for those people. Any affiliate, ideally you find someone local, so you got that local
Yeah.
training, that local person to be like, oh, let me show, like literally with you, going, don't do it that way, like do it this way, and they have their opinions, whatever. Then you learn your own way, but just have something like a sounding board to off of. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. And I'm working on that with AMS. Like I said, I made some introductions and I
Mhm.
wanted to get further in, like, Cal approved or certified,
Yeah,
and to continue that conversation, continue those steps to get that, paid experience.
that's good. That's gonna be That's gonna definitely pay you dividends over for sure. Did I already? Let me see. Oh, I did. Okay, so we're live on. Good morning, everyone. I love to start off by saying uh, and just give some quick introductions. The folks here on here know each other. For the sake of replay and YouTube, we'll do a quick introduction. My name is Michael Reed, President and CEO of One Support, and Identity Process Server is now its own entity, and excited about this education opportunity for process servers, the down and how mistakes I made and how help you avoid a lot of, and also how the can provide for you and your family. So that's me that excited about. Um,
I'm Jessica Claycomb. I own Washington Pro Se process servers, and we do process serving, skip tracing, apostilles, some beta domestication in King County, Snohomish County, and Island County in Washington State.
nice, nice.
Brad Sanders, California Process Servers, also known as Kern Servers, AAA Notary, serving Kern County, California.
Well, you guys are very consistent about showing up in action, not Zoom, but I sent online and and the things that you're sharing and you coming back and giving feedback. And I think that is so essential when you're first starting out that you have, oh, it's cutting out. Okay. Let's see here. Check my audio real quick. Yeah. I think it's so essential you come and you give feedback as you're going. Is it better? Okay. Yeah, I know it's just the way it is sometimes when you live in the mountains. I mean, I do these trainings, I get off and I go, smoke barbecue for 10 hours or take my 8 dogs for a walk or German shepherds. And and I just enjoy my life up here, but like sometimes Zoom the internet doesn't always benefit everybody on that. But yeah, I'm really excited to be able to talk about podcasting today. And I want to start off by saying that that podcasting or some form of having a show with a great deal of my success, a really great deal of my success. And I want to tell you why. Because when I started a show, when I when I started my first show, I, I called 530 process servers and it was doing okay. And I met a few people in the who were just crushing it, millionaire process servers, and they were all willing to be a guest on the show. And so, Andy, okay, thanks for coming. They all wanted to be a guest on the show, so I brought them on and I interviewed them, and then I was like, well, if they'll be a guest, maybe other people will be a guest. And I started interviewing all of these top high level guys who industry or inherit. from their father, whatever the situation was. They were all doing very well. And I learned that, yeah, I created content out of this, and that was great. And now we get thousands every month. I made an episode for very long time, and it still gets lots of downloads. The network that I built of people that just by highlighting them as the professional, highlighting them as the expert. Have you ever heard that when you have a conversation, the less you talk, the better they like you when it's over? Have you ever heard that? So like if you're having a two-way conversation and you just listen the whole time, you're just listening and you're learning things about the person, but somehow they like you more when it's done because you have done a service to by listening to them. And that's kind of what it's like when you interviewing and you're a podcast host, you're taking your platform. It doesn't, this is the key to imposter syndromes are going to hit everyone. It hits all of us. It doesn't matter your audience size. You're live on social media and you're interviewing this person. You don't have to do it. That's just what I did. Actually, for a long time, I would do it on Zoom, long before Zoom even knew what Zoom was, because I remember explaining to people, like Skype, but it's easier. You click a link and it just pops up in your web browser. It doesn't, you don't have to or anything. And now they do have a download now, right? But and so long before Zoom was ever used, before COVID or any of that, I was a Zoomer because that's how they would for you and audio, and it would put the audio into two clips. So if you want to be a professional podcaster where you like edit the clips individually and all that stuff, you can use Zoom. You can separate the audio. So does that as well. We're going to look at StreamYard and a couple other tools like I did yesterday. But if you're over, know that you could go back and watch the individual small videos that I'm going to make for each one of the platforms to be able to do it on your own without having to invest in any of these tools. I thought about that yesterday. I'm like really focused on what I would do if I was going to do it myself. When in reality, there's a lot of people that are going to go, I just want to have an Instagram, you know, I just want to post a video Instagram that I recorded on Zoom. That's awesome. That's actually awesome. I just geek out about automation. And every single business I've had after that, having some type of a show in real estate, I started Orlando Legends. I interviewed the mayor in Orlando. I interviewed all these other people, stuff like that, became very well known, became a top producing 1% realtor in Orlando, in all of Florida, actually. And in just like a couple years around COVID time, and started investing in multifamily real estate, all the money I was making. So I took from real estate and went there and learned a whole nother level of using some of the same. Helped me understand that process server in general, humans, you'll hear me generalize that sometimes with process servers are cheap or something like that. I know not all process servers are, and we're all humans and we're all a little bit different. But what I mean is that we become in our own little box of like, well, I just need more servers. Let me just my website, Google My Business, that's it. There's actually a whole nother level of prospecting, of brand building that you can do and having an from just a process server is you from leveling up to the next level. And for me, I was so overconfident, I guess I didn't care. I was like, I'm dominating this whole city that I did do those branding things where other people were like, you're kind of being too loud. You're kind of being all over social media. Like I had my my first affiliate that sent me work, Diane. She ended up passing from cancer. If you've heard her story, I ended up taking over. I was serving all of her papers at one point. At the end, she had like 5 servers when and just know that they kind of just fell off. They were inconsistent. And then she ended up passing cancer and pretty much left me her business. I found out that so many affiliate companies owed her tens of thousands of dollars. I can name off 5 that you've probably heard of in California that owed her tens of thousands of dollars, that they were paying her a little bit every month just to keep her going. And they would send her more work than what they were paying her for. And so I learned a lot of lessons through that and having that affiliate partner. But she would tell me every day, oh, I saw your post on take that down. I'm like, what do you mean? I serve the guys, you know, and I would like record my recording, serving somebody or something, and she was probably, and she just didn't like it, and some people aren't gonna like it, and that's why I tell you guys, some people aren't gonna like it, but I can tell you that so many partnerships and deals and clients I've got because I'm not obscure. I'm known. People in my area know who I am. Some people don't like it, and that's okay. So I just want to preface it with that. Good morning, Mandy. You go.
Good morning.
How's it going? Your day?
Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. I got assaulted last night.
No
Not
way.
bad, like not like hurt, but like I called the sheriff on him and did a citizen's arrest on him. I have to tell somebody because I can't tell my dad.
Oh my gosh. So you
But
knocked on the door and what?
it was kind of weird. I don't want to sidetrack you, but
No, this is a part of it.
yeah, it's like
Educational.
I don't have anyone to tell. Like I told Kathy, the lady I bought the business from last night, but I'm like, I can't even tell my friends because they're gonna freak out. But it wasn't that bad. I was just had a stack and I'm like, I'm gonna bust these out tonight. And then it started getting late and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to this neighborhood. It's a gated community. It's out in the middle. It's like horse property in the middle of nowhere, gated. And I had two serves there. And I was one I screwed up on, or my server did, and he didn't sub him the last time he was out there. And so I told the company, I said he screwed up. He should have subbed him. I'm not going to charge you for this next round if they do another round, right? So, and in the notes, it's like old guy, super nice, said his daughter's not there. I'd been there last time I was there. They hid from me. I could tell the front door was cracked open. The dog was barking. Their phone was ringing, and they're like trying to stop the dog. So, long story short, I was like, fine, I'll go over there. It's just this young girl and her dad. Well, I get there, and this guy, it's like a guy, 35, and his dad. And he's kind of like a hippie looking dude. Like he's pretty unassuming, ponytail, smaller build. And he's like, "Oh, what's this?" And I'm like, "Hey, I got papers for Bren." And he's like, "I don't know. I don't know what this is." And I'm like, "It's papers for Bren. Here you go. Have a good night." And I walk off and I hop in my truck. Well, I guess this is the lesson that I learned is Kathy always told me this. She's like, "Go past the house and then turn around." Well, I didn't go past the house and I didn't realize when I got in my truck that it was a dead end. And so as I was driving, the guy was coming out and it was like him and his dog. And I wasn't really worried about him or his dog, to be honest with you. And I go to the cul-de-sac and I'm like, shoot, I got to go past this guy, you know? And so I had my phone up on my dash and I was nervous. I'm buying a dash cam today. I was just kind of nervous and I forgot to hit play. Well, next thing you know, I get up there and he's in front of me in like at the hood of my truck and won't let me go. And I'm like, dude, you need to get out of the way. You cannot block me. So he's like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. Well, we go back and forth and I have my phone. I think I'm filming him the whole time. And he puts the papers on my windshield wipers. Well, I'm like 5 foot, so I couldn't see over the papers to drive off. So I rolled down my window and I was going to grab the papers and he grabs them and he shoves them in like this way at me, still yelling like, I don't know what this is. Like, obviously you know what it is.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
you're not
he
gonna
like,
it back in someone's house, in someone's car. No,
yeah,
it's
and he tried to shove him back in like that. And I just like, I pushed him back and I took off and I called the sheriff. And the sheriff, I don't know, like I looked at the arrest log and I didn't see an arrest on that street. I don't even know who the guy was. But you know, I know in California there's extra laws against assaulting a process server.
yeah. You have just as much, civil rights as a serving. Like if you're there and they assault you, there's a specific code. I used to
Yeah.
have them memorized.
I have it. I have it
Yeah.
on this little card that Kathy gave me.
Yeah, and Brad probably has it right there on his desk. He's the a test. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple things. Uh, the psychological effect of having it it's like is something I think the time to feel, talk about, like, because you experienced something that could have been worse, right? It could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. And but it is what it is. And so when you go to the door, right, that this is the key, is to learn from each experience like that.
Mhm.
And so one thing is, if he's close enough to shove papers in your car, and he puts his hands in your car writing paper, there could be a taser somewhere in your car always, right? So that's
Mhm.
one. Guy puts a paper in your car, bzz, you tase the hell out of his arm. He ain't putting his arm in your car, or even just the sound of it, right? So that's one. Next thing, having pepper spray. You could have pepper sprayed him as soon as, yeah, thank you, Jeff. As soon as he put his hand in your car and was like trying to shove stuff in, just right in his face. And now he's falling on the ground. He can't see. You call 911. You say, hey, I just served him and put his car trying to assault me. So I pepper sprayed him. And so that alone is punishment enough for someone like that to mess with you. The
Mhm.
other thing too is knowing you may be back. You or one of your servers may have to come back. And so what I always did, I actually had rough me up when I served a notice. Two guys got me from behind. But, their whole purpose was to just get me on the ground, and I thought they were going to start kicking me, and they were big dudes, they're about my size, and they just walked away. They basically wanted to punk me and feel good about that, and they
Mhm.
didn't. The paper stayed on the house. This is just one had literally one had a mohawk, and the other one was shaved bald. And they were just they just wanted that, and they walked away. And I ended up coming back and serving the eviction because I served the notice, right? And so when I came back and I served the eviction, I had my gun with me ready. I was like, maybe the second time it's not just a shove on the ground, you know. So understanding what you're with when it's
Yeah.
protecting yourself, little things like what you said that your partner said, or your what's her name?
Kathy.
Kathy.
Kathy Fritz. Yeah.
Those are key. Never
Yeah.
be in a dead end, pull past the, if the house is here and the dead end's over here somewhere, you'll pull around and then pull past that. So basically, you'll never have to pass by the person driving. If you come out of the driveway, you just get in your car and drive, you know?
Yeah, and that was my biggest mistake. And I realized, because I could have just took off and avoided everything. He
Hmm.
could, I was like a sneak attack. It was dark
Hmm.
and avoided everything. And I should have turned around, but just the way that it was, and I'd been out there 10 times, and I was like so annoyed with these people. And I'm just like, here you go.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty what's crazy is I was just out at the sketchiest place right before that. Everything I do is rule. And the guy was super sketchy. And I schmoozed the heck out of him. And we're homies, kind of.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'll be back. And he's not going to be a jerk to me. And that house was so sketchy. And then I go to this gated community, and this guy's like, nice house. Like, he's pretty nice looking, like, kind of like a we call river rat. He
Hmm.
looks like, he's kind of a Tahoe kind of dude. And I just was so shocked that he came at me like that. And and I didn't really feel like physically threatened, you know,
Hmm.
except that he shoved those papers in, you know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
like, now you drew the line. And he probably is freaked out when the sheriff showed up. So I can't wait to hear what the sheriff said. But I did do a citizen's arrest on him. So he told me, he's like, if they don't answer the door, I'm not going to break the door down, but we're going to give him a misdemeanor and he's going to have to answer the DA.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. I had a situation. So just to give some context, like legally what you deal with when you're serving. One where I served just a whole lawsuit, one business against another. The attorney hired me, right, it, and when I served the paperwork, it was at a gas station, and I had kind of Googled it a little bit beforehand because they said that the guy's kind of squirrely, and I'm like, who he's dealing with. Like, not only will I serve him, even if I'm not sure, I'll come back and say, "God, wrong guy." Like, I was ready to serve somebody, and it was a jacket like this, and of papers, and I came in and asked for him, and he goes, "Why you don't do that here? You don't." He was in English, and I was like, "Well, I'm pretty sure that it's to give you these papers." I was trying to be cool about it, and this is literally at the ordering thing. There's a line getting behind me, right? And and his wife is right there. "He already said you can't do it here. You got to go." I said, "Yeah, but I'm not managed by him. I'm here giving you legal documents. Here you go. You're the person." Get him to admit that it was him, but he wouldn't. So I left the paperwork. He gets it, and I said, "There you go. Have a good day." And before I even notice, he throws the papers at my face. It hits me right here. It was a big old scratch. You know how you get a scratch, it eventually goes away, but it was like a red deep scratch. And I'm like, I think it was a staple or something on me, because it was a big packet. And the paperwork and I'm like, "Did you seriously just throw this at me?" So I had the thought I had was like, I could hurt you so bad. Like, that was the first thought I had. Like, I fought in high school for fun. Like, the first thought I had was like, yeah, I'm serving papers. So I sat down on the counter, walked out, didn't say anything, got in my car, l- the parking lot, park the thing, because he kept telling me to leave, right? Trespassing laws, kept telling me to leave. So I left, parked on the curb property. The police, they showed up. And this is where you got to be careful. The police took a report and they said, "Well, it's really your word versus his." And they went and talked to him, came out, talked to me. I said, "I'm not a patron that had an issue with him, or I'm a process server." And I gave him the code, actually looked it up. I have my son was with me. I was teaching him to serve 13 at the time, my older son. And so I have the whole video of me doing this. Maybe I'll post it. But I'm talking to the police about this. I'm recording them because they're clueless about it. And about 3 months later, this is around COVID time. I moved to Florida, and I get something in the mail that says that I have failure to appear. Apparently, they filed a trespassing on me, saying that I was trespassing and I didn't show up to court. I didn't know about it. I wasn't properly served. I just had a failure to appear, and I was like, and I called the district attorney's office because they picked it up. They don't, nothing will happen to you if the DA doesn't pick it up. If the DA sees this and trespassing thing, and then they go, let's, if that doesn't happen, then you won't get that, Brad.
Actually, Mandy, first, glad you're okay.
Thank you.
What a story. Wow. But a couple things. I lived in a gated community, and it's like, right, we make assumptions about sketchy and a gated. Sometimes people think they're more entitled because they have that privacy. But about five, well, no, more than that. My daughter got served by the baby daddy, right? So I'm in a gated community, and I have a courtyard, and it was a locked gate to the courtyard, about 6 foot high, right? Next thing I know, it's whatever, Sunday morning. We're hearing this pounding on my front door. It's a friend of the baby daddy doing the service, not a professional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm in my house Sunday morning. You don't come pounding on my door. That wasn't well. So I come out. Luckily, he was gone. Kid, bam, bam, right? So I call our police. They come. They stop the kid. They found out what he was doing, whatever. So the police were like, "Yeah, he was trespassing because you had the locked gate to the courtyard." But I was like, "All right, no, but all right, let it go." And that was that. But very interesting, right? What trespass is, and false imprisonment.
Yeah, keeping somebody there against their will, stuff like that. But for California, it says very specifically in the code, it is trespassing, but we're allowed to do it. Just like the police, just if they see, if they think there's some kind of going on, and they're like, "Let me check this out," they can trespass.
Yeah.
trespass because they're checking something out. They're doing in their normal course of duty, just like as a process server. I don't remember the exact verbiage, but it's in there. It says, and there's also one actually that says you could trespass a vehicle. So you can actually bring your vehicle onto someone's property. And the reason for that is we have so many rural areas in California.
Yeah.
Uh,
I usually don't go, like, I try to be, just because I know El Dorado County and I know how the people are around here, like
Mhm.
kind of the culture. And so I try to be really respectful when the gate is unlocked and chained. Like, it's 50-50 if I'm going to go in there or not.
Yeah.
And I just it's just each case. But yeah, and Kathy has always told me that. I mean, she's been doing it for 20 years. She's like, it's the damn doctors, it's the El
Yeah.
Dorado Hills guys that, like you said, they're entitled. Whereas
Yeah.
that dude that I talked to earlier in the sketchy house, he knows how to act, right? Because he's not going to come at me, because he knows he doesn't want that trouble. Where this other dude had no clue what he could and could not do, and he fully crossed the line. It probably scared I'm sure when the sheriff showed up, it scared the crap out of him,
Yeah.
you
He's like,
know.
what am I
But
supposed to
yeah,
do?
it's, don't assume because it's gated that they're going to be nice, because it's the doctors that are
It's so
so
true.
And it's just like people's interactions, right? If there's police driving up and down people's street all the day or what have you, they've interacted with the police positively, negatively, but they know how to talk
yeah.
to cops, right? And other people, they don't have that interaction, they don't have that experience. What's going on?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
So
glad you're
sorry to
safe.
sidetrack you, but I just had to. It's like I can't tell any of my friends this stuff because they will lose
Mhm.
their mind.
They're like, you need to get
So
a different job. They'll probably tell you to go find a
whatever. I'm a high
different thing.
risk person. I ride a Harley and I am a process server. What do you want from me?
There you go.
So,
Love Harley. Went on a ride yesterday. Took all my kids one at a time. That's awesome. Cool. We got a lot to cover today. But what I want to do is, instead of do like I did yesterday, where I just kind of like, I'm really just mind pouring out because I don't want to ever do it again. I want you to be able to just watch the read. If somebody's like, how do I automate my social media and create short form content? They can go to the video that I did yesterday. I To just cap that conversation is being safe out in the field. It's like, it's so different. Like, to be prepared, man, it's like there's so many things to consider. It's like me, thinking about your child walking to school or something. 5-year-old kids or 6-year-old kids walking to school by themselves. So what if it's right down the street? I'm just like, as a parent, don't even know this child, and I'm like driving slowly by, sure that they're safe. It just drives me crazy. Do this to your kid. But it's the same thing with process serving. When you're out here, you don't know all of the different situations that might occur, and you don't know if the sheriff or police are going to be on your side. So make sure whatever you say and do, you're prepared to recount the entire situation in court. You're prepared to say, this is why I did what I did. Like, sit up there and say, and I have been on the stand many times, not many times, but a hand, and have said, this is what I did, and I stand behind it. There's not one time, thankfully, that I've had to get up there and testify without, and not know why I did what I did. And each experience was a very great experience for me too, to see how them actually works. But when it comes to protecting yourself, if you decide to carry a gun, please get trained. Please go through the training, all the training, that because there's so many situations where having a gun actually can hurt you more than you realize. If you can't keep control of it,
Yeah.
if you are not attentive of it, if you're not comfortable with it. I just want to say that because I'm a big gun advocate. I have hundreds of guns. I am AKs, SKS, you name it, I got it. And I know I have family members that they just couldn't. Some of them just couldn't handle that kind of pressure, or like, also just person who know if that's something you're comfortable doing. Jeff, you had something?
No, no, I was just texting that your voice was breaking up a little bit. I didn't know if it was at my end or not.
It's probably my end because Jessica was hearing it earlier too. All right. A little bit better. There's a couple of couple clouds. It's pretty clear though. I have Starlink. I'm wondering if any Starlink is interfering with my bigger something. I got a mini Whooper that I just got that is pretty cool. It's not quite as strong as the one on the house, so I think maybe it's interrupting it. How about now? Break it up.
It sounds okay here right at the moment.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and dive in. Do you guys have else or any questions before? We're just going to talk about podcasts. I try to keep it short, like around 15 minutes on the training, and give you the tools and resources you need, and give you give you just kind of the gold of pod, and then you guys can go from the we can bring it to the comments and to the chat later on. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. So, okay. Yeah. The first thing I've set up, let's go back to school here. So, let me screen share and we will go into our checklist. So I'm making a checklist for new process servers that just you want to check all the boxes. So starting out, but to make a checklist that fully encompasses everything is almost impossible because you're going to see as we go on with just so much. Like marketing is a whole different thing from operations, a whole different thing from different niches. So it's all going to depend on what it is that you do, depending on what you should focus on. So there's a couple tools. StreamYard we've already talked about, which I'm going to do a recording just on to use the recording tool. How to do the screen overlays is by far my favorite tool for recording content, recording interviews when you interview people. Guys, start interviewing on my podcast for the Mighty Process Server podcast, which I'm launching as a training as a part of this week. You're going to see I use StreamYard. You're going to see how easy it is to use. And so I put in here somewhere. I'm gonna have to find it, and I'll make sure to post it. But you guys schedule those interviews. Those onboarding calls are the interviews now. That's what I'm gonna do. Pretty much anybody who comes into the community who's getting a member spotlight, I'm interviewing them. So go your if you go to the community and you click on over here on the side, schedule your onboarding call, go schedule this, the next available one that I have, and we'll do an onboarding call. If I already know you will right into your interview, I'll ask you guys the 3 main questions. But before I was doing pre-interview, I wanted to see the interview. But now we're gonna just dive right into it. We're gonna actually do the interview on Zoom. So cool. Dun, dun, dun. Gotta check him out. Okay, cool. So inside the classroom, if you click on marketing, yeah, so once you've reached level 3, you can do the Mighty Lights. And so that's what we're going to do is I'm going to interview you, podcast, and you'll be on the Mighty Member Spotlights. And that'll be cool. It'll be a cool experience for you to go through Stream that actually works. So you can click out the podcast playlist. If you click on this, you're going to see, and this is what we're going to do. You want to host cast somewhere that's a podcasting platform. However, you could just download. Here's a link called Libsyn. So this is Libsyn right here, the third link here inside of it. Do you guys have access to this? I think you should. And I put these. So if Libsyn and you create a Libsyn, it does cost money, okay? But is that one tool? It's not very much. It's very, very small. I think it might be like $5 a month or something. It's been many hours of content their hosting for you per month. As it goes up, it costs more, right? But what's really cool about this is tell Libsyn via this tool called Repurpose, okay, which we're going to look at today. You can tell it, hey, anytime I have a new episode on my YouTube that's under the podcast playlist, post it to my Libsyn. Why is that important? Okay, because if I go to StreamYard and okay, bring up StreamYard too. StreamYard doesn't like Safari, unfortunately. I don't know why. But if I do a live stream and I record and I give you the link to show up in an interview with how I'm gonna do it, it's gonna you're gonna see this all time actually. Where I'm gonna interview you here. And so your first homework is to go schedule your interview because that's each individual person is going to learn this really by getting interviewed. If you're watching the this, you don't schedule your interview. You can do your onboarding call, but we're not going to have an interview until you've reached level 3, which is the morning member spotlights, mighty member spotlights, because you're a rising star, right? You're in here, you're community, you're a part of the community, you're kicking butt, right? It's pretty easy to do 3. I mean, level 3 is only 20 points. It's 20 likes. Like, go create a, you know what I'm saying? All right. So, classroom, marketing, podcast. Start with stream. We record with. Yes, we record our interview. But also, guys, remember I showed you on Opus, you can interviews, which you're going to see me do, and put them in Opus, and Opus will create a bunch of little mini we talked about yesterday, the Opus tool. It'll create a whole bunch of little mini shorts for you out of a long form video. Then if you like we talked about yesterday, you could just make 60-second clips. Well, then that's how you can just intentionally go create a bunch of reels or shorts. So we want to on StreamYard. We want to our podcast on StreamYard. One of the options, if you remember, YouTube, right? So you record it on YouTube. You once it records on YouTube, it'll be live on YouTube, right? With StreamYard. You'll turn around and put it, you'll say, hey, I want you to be on it won't be live on your podcast platform yet. This is how I do it. It won't be live on your podcast platform yet. What you'll do is you'll have to go into that specific video and say add to podcast playlist. But as soon as you add it to podcast playlist, that's your control lever. As soon as you add it to let me just show you what that looks like. So if you haven't heard the podcast, you got to go check it out. It's so many different great and content you there. So if you haven't seen this yet, what you do is you come over here and you can change the play. And YouTube about a year ago came out with a specific type of podcast playlist, and really good. And they're developing it, and so that's why I've went all in on this kind of doing it because it's going to rank better as a podcast. Is Google, right? These will show up. Content you put more to it, it'll rank on Google. So as soon, and I'm going to show you why, but as soon as you use podcast playlist and you hit save, repurpose, the tool repurpose, this is repurpose. If we look at our work, oh, I got to log in. Drawing it. Let me see if it's the same one. Dun, dun, dun. Actually, I don't think. Oof, the bane of my existence. Okay. Yeah. So YouTube tells Libsyn. Let me put repurpose in between the two. Right. So StreamYard record. YouTube actually is your host. So if you can watch videos, you can post these links on Facebook places. You could take it in Opus and click out of it. And then YouTube, as you add it to the right place, automatically will become an episode on Lib. like and show y'all to do a video talking about how this process and how the Mighty Process Server podcast is coming back. This video episode here, just highlighting what we're doing. You know, do like an update one, and you'll see, and I'll use it as an example. And then, tomorrow, and then here. So just what I shared with you on Monday about listings, yesterday about social platforms, and today about podcasting. It should take you at least another week to get set up and going. When I come back, we can review not but the week after Monday. If you look on the calendar, yeah, for next week I'm going to be getting ready to leave, and I'll do it. And then here on the 16th, I'll be set up somewhere. We'll do training for these 4 days. So ideally, what tomorrow we're going to finish off what we're talking about, some of the other marketing things I want to show you, and then we'll have a week go by, and then we'll come back here. So you'll have a little bit of time to deal with the last these 4 days of basically homework I'm giving you. Okay, so once it podcast episode 5 in here, and what happens is this. You guys is so powerful, is if you look at, yeah, here we go. Perfect. So if you look at the destinations, so I got the socials, destinations, here we go. If you destinations, you literally have, so what I was talking to you guys about backlinks. You can literally thousands. There's a few. I got to put some more, but my list has, I think it's like 4 or 5 platforms that have a domain authority for podcasting that's linked to my website. They all allow you to have a website link as a part of it. So you guys are like, well, I don't want to podcast. Just create multiple episodes that talk about what, and then they post it on all these different platforms, pointing back to the site, and your website is better. That's just the way it works. And then automatically distributes it to all the point. So Libsyn you just record an audio, okay? Okay, those of you guys that don't want to do it at a high level, like I'm talking about, being able to live, have it on YouTube, and then use repurpose to automatically, technically download your audio from the recording on StreamYard and just upload Libsyn, and then just upload it manually to YouTube. Okay. Well, you wouldn't have to upload it because you went live, but you could also just your phone, right? Just go new episode and just upload it like that. Add it out. I'm just showing you the mighty way. Okay. What you decide to do with it's up to you. So a couple things. So if not your onboarding call, go to onboarding. All right. Your conversation. You're going to do like a 5-minute interview. It's going to be a short interview. Tell me about your company. Tell me about what you got going on, so that I can highlight. I'm going to this. Yeah. I'll be. I might have to switch a little bit. Yeah, but go schedule your interview. It happens either way. And then the next is a link for this, but let me actually look. I have for podcasting. Let me just see process server podcast. This is really important. This is probably the most important part of this training. I forgot to tell you. Not work. We're not doing that. So what I want you to know, get out of here. Oh, here it is. So I have a Mac, so it wants to pull all this stuff up. Dude. But I actually use, yeah. So if you go to resources and you go to, let's see, you review. All right, I'm link. I don't have it right now, but there's basically I want to build out a page like this. I'm going to show you. Forward slash user slash. Try that real quick. No, I think it's review in a bit. But what you want to do is you want to go and the review similar to Google. The industry is primarily with reviews. When you podcast, you don't get any podcast reviews. You actually show you on the new and noteworthy page. It becomes difficult for your podcast to grow. So if you ever sign up for like a that's the first they do is everyone we're gonna all reviews, and that's how they get 200-300 reviews on their podcast each in different niches, right? Will have their podcast ranked top in their have a podcast, not really a show about YouTube or a show on YouTube that's about your business, about your local area and the services that you could literally do this podcast. Okay, this is a couple you have to know if you're going to create a show is a podcast or you're going to do an interview-based podcast. That's the decision you have to make. But what you can do, a little bit more different, is you can do what they call a variety show. A lot of people doing a variety like business, and what they do is they'll interview streets. Next day they'll be in some studio, like serious video. The next day they'll be doing some type of a variety show, a Mr. Beast type of show, okay, or what's his name? One of the late night shows or something, right? Like anytime you different. But for your business, that's to deal with. So if you're full-time business, what you should do instead is you should just do. I'm going to do like 3 episodes, and that's it. Or and then maybe I'll every once, and then that way that's at least on there. It'll go on different podcast platforms. You'll have all those backlinks linking back to your website. Because when you fill it out, when you fill each, you have to do that. So let me just share again. And I want to show you that. Not Slack. Okay, so when you do the destinations, you can add destination. Where's that new? No. You can add destinations here. Let me see next. I think I have destinations that they want you to have on here. Let me move this. They're all connected. You can, but I think they might have removed them. You used to be able to just add destinations here. I have all these ones set up already. So any of these platforms you go on, if you listen to City, Boomplay, all of these, radio, Spotify, if you use process server, and let's see, 3,953 on this 5 this month, 5 this week. Not much. It's went down a lot, but posting any episodes, right? So but what I wanted to show you is that you can actually add destinations, but for some reason it's not showing it. So what you can do instead is if you're like, oh, how do I work this out? What I would do is I would take my podcast, what's called RSS feed, advanced tools. Let me see here, URL prefix. Yeah, your RSS feed, and then you RSS feed in whatever destination you want it to be in. So a lot of these places will just give you that you just pay them. Some of them you have to pay. So you can take your player, podcast player. They give you one as a part of Libsyn. brand it to your color. So orange, right? So I could take that black, and then I could take my podcast, actually take the HTML for this code right here. And if you look at the website, that's exactly what I did. Click on podcast. Okay. So I'm actually going to if you ever have a question too and you want it like to be asked live on the show, ask Mighty Mike, you can fill this out. I'm gonna put a post here inside if you're watching this. Post you're watching whatever inside of here down podcast section. With a link. I'm gonna put a link for you to go try to leave you. And here's the thing. If you leave a review on my podcast, I want you to go to the put a website to go and to submit a form to this form on my website, but it'll linked here. And the reason why is I want to give you guys I'm creating a one point checklist just for creating content. It's podcasts, the different things that you need to have. And as soon as you fill that out, you fill out or you give me a review on one of any one of the you're going to see on the page, you go submit that below on that, and you'll actually be able to automatically do that, because this is going to take some time. I'm actually going to get a guy on Fiverr to put to make it look pretty, and I want to just give you guys the verses. Okay, so that's the thing. There'll be a link just below. Go ahead and do that. Now, I guess after that, once you guys, this is your homework. Okay, I want some of your homework for this week. I'm gonna do another post here under podcast law that says podcast reviews. I want to, just like we did with Google and everybody their Google review, which I think is really good. We're going to do the same thing for podcast reviews. Okay. So there'll be a post down here that has all of the all of the podcast links for people who are in here. It's going to be an living thing that's going to benefit your podcast over just by being a part of this awesome community. All right. I could go deeper on all of these platforms, but first I want to see what questions you have. I lost. They're like, last thing, boo. No questions? You guys good? Always trying to digest all this stuff. There's a lot going on. Yeah, there's a lot here. But it's builds your brand. It's a way of creating free content. Again, this is all organic content this week. When I come back, we're gonna do some review of the organic content and how to actually boost it, how to actually get people with a little bit of dollars, with a little bit of money and ads. How do we get people to start? Yes. This is something a lot of people don't really or put into play. So we got some chat here. Sorry, I got to drop out. Copy. Blah blah blah. Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, I might have to re-record it if it's that bad. Yeah. Cool. No worries. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and end it early today then. Guys, just take action. Podcast, fairly simple. You create the podcast. It's either topic based or interview based. You do some type of content that actually benefits you, that helps you others. Distribute, give it to the world. So that's all I have. Have you guys some call to actions? Leaving some reviews, submitting some. Is that you put a little bit of work in? Like other people are going to go and leave you reviews. And I'm gonna get off early so I can finish this checklist. It's a long checklist of just like, hey, pick a microphone. Versus, can you go to get a microphone? Hey, pick what resources do you need to have for that? It's just a lot of monotonous stuff that we don't need to talk about. You just got to do it, figure it out, and then once you have it, you don't have to worry about it anymore. I bought this microphone. I think it's called something, and I had it for like 2 years. I could hear like a crackle, and so I had to. By that time, I was making some pretty good money. So I said, I'm gonna best microphone out there. So I Googled it, watched a bunch of YouTube stuff, and I have this one for just now. Same microphone. And I come to find out whole thing it's a music microphone. It's meant to be, that's why it's like and it's like in case like things I can turn this super hard so I won't do it, but you have to like you turn it and it makes your voice like more like raspy. You can like you could turn it because it's for mute. Anyway, so I have it on just normal voice now. Like a super high pitched voice and the microphone makes okay. That'd be funny. Me so cool guys. Have reach out to me in the community and Jessica, let's definitely get on. I want to spotlight you, you don't have to have had it all figured, for us to do it. It's going to be good.
Okay.
All right. And
Yeah.
Mandy, stay safe out there. Okay. Oh yes. Did you get that link?
Yeah, I messaged, I think I did a couple different ways. So,
This one right here.
oh yeah, I sent him a message. Like I sent a message. Let me see. Let me look at my emails.
Okay.
Mighty
So
website. But yeah, I haven't heard back. So maybe she's busy.
I'll show you how easy this is, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go, if you have questions, ask me.
No, I know. I'm just waiting to I'm like, sign me up, take my money. That's all. That's where I'm at right now.
So go price and then click right here, sign up, and then you just you get down to
Well,
it's gonna
okay.
ask
I
for
just thought she'd call me back so I could discuss because there was when I was looking, there was like a special for the
yeah, the $500 there's a special for the week. I can't hear you. You're muted. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
No,
there
I
we go.
responded to it and I wasn't sure about the pricing and that's why I didn't sign up with one particular one because I had saw the 250 to sign up and so I didn't know like which one like so I just was waiting to talk to somebody.
Oh, I see.
But
Yeah.
I definitely signed up. I mean, I sent a couple messages a couple times. So
Yeah. I'll take a look at it and talk to her today and see what's going on. Yeah, that's strange. She's usually really good about getting back to people.
let me look because I did submit a question.
Did you go right here?
Quote, here we
create a
go.
website.
You received the following form submission, request a quote on the blog of your website, blah blah blah. So that was
Oh, if you came
oh,
right
no.
here on this page, it's confusion because this is my page. When I shoot this forward directly to her, because her fee and when you sign up, she handles it all. Like I does it all. So if you've come to my website page, that's probably what.
No, I'm just trying to look like I can't find where I oh, it's probably to my personal thing, but I definitely messaged and website. Let's see. What is it? Mighty
website.
Website.
That's the one you want to go to because
Yeah, that's the one I went to.
Yeah, and you just click sign. I can tell you right now, it's $500 and $79 a month if you want online ordering, and you won't have this kind of not communicating stuff. We're very good about communicating, about getting your stuff done. It's just you get a lot of people who are in, and they'll come to my website and they're not going to. They don't. I'll reply if you're like, hey, what I do if someone ever fills this out. is they get a thing saying, "Hey, we got your submission. Click here to," and it'll essentially just take them here, right? So if that's what you did, or you got anything like that, I can tell you right. And go. You just want to go
I
to
don't know.
the. Yeah.
I just wanted to figure out what the deal was with the different pricing. That's all. And
Yeah,
I'm
where
like
did you
ready to
see
sign up. I just
50 pricing? Where did I want to? Yeah, we got to find out and take that down because actually,
okay. I mean, I don't care. At this point, I'm just like, take my
Yeah.
money. That's all.
this video. Did you watch this video?
I don't remember. I'll have to go
Okay.
and look and see where
I'll
I
have
was
to.
at.
I'll have to take this link and just have it forward to this webpage. That might be, um, yeah. Confuse
I
people.
followed the link that you had posted the other day, and I sent a message.
Yeah. Here. Oh, you sent a message on this thing
Yeah, I sent a message. I sent several.
on this little chat right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What this chat might not be. I might this chat off of here. Yeah. Basically, you want to email. So if you ever have, you can. This is her cell phone number right here, and this is her email. She's very attentive. So, and she's the one I count on to deal with it. So, if anything, it's you were probably your email or chat is from one of my 12 emails somewhere. So I would just apologize first of all, and then say just go directly to it'll take care. It'll be a group that you won't sorry that she does a great job. So logo design at 250. If you find out where you see that 250, let me know. I've been trying to raising it to 5 and she's like, well, 500 is good enough. And but they're $10,000 website. They're like really good web.
Yeah, when I saw both the pricing, I just didn't know what the difference was, so I just was kind of confused.
Yeah.
And I can't find the emails that I sent, but I definitely know I sent messages.
Yeah, knowing different prices, that makes sense. It's like, what the heck? What's the pricing? And I'm sure anybody would have had the same kind of situation. So no worries. But yeah, let me know on here. Like I teach you marketing, how to get you more website. She builds it, designs it, helps with SEO, some of the basic SEO, and then says, okay, your customer. And then, so then you can come back to it. If you want to make changes to the website, you contact, if you have questions about marketing your website, you come back to me. That works. So cool. Well, thank you guys for coming, and Mandy, be safe out there. Okay. You're new to things, but you got a good head on, so on your shoulders. So just let me know if you have any questions. And podcasting is a game. Okay. When you get more about brand, about building relationships over time. So just one thing at a time, just like with your social media, and over time, going to pay you back. That's going to pay you back. So I'll message Desi right now just to make sure that she knows you're on your way, and have her reach out to you as well. I got to look up your email here. What's for you, Mandy? Let's put it in the chat. Did I lose you? Might be my internet. Yeah, you're frozen and not know it. Okay. All right. Well, we'll end it off here, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll reach out to you directly, Mandy. Guys, have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.